LA County officials recovered more than 200 ballots from a drop box that caught fire. We'll hear how to make sure your vote is counted.
Fans will have to wait a little longer to experience the happiest place on earth. We'll see how theme park closures are impacting local businesses.
A USC student and yoga instructor is our first guest for our new wellness segment. Join us for a quick lower back stretch.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
LA County election officials recovered ballots that were damaged after an official drop box caught fire. I'm Ella Katz reporting from Manhattan Beach.
And I'm Zoe Ginsburg reporting from Los Angeles. Officials say it is still safe to take your ballot to a drop box.
A fire inside an election drop box damaged ballots in Baldwin Park on Sunday. More than 200 ballots are believed to have been inside. Firefighters broke open the box to salvage what was left. An activist and an LA County supervisor have a message for voters.
Ballot drop boxes are supposed to be built so they're tamper-proof so that fires can't be started or fires are very limited. There's a way in which they operate so they deny oxygen to the fire once the fire is inside the box. One thing you can do if you really do want to be 100% certain is you can drop your ballot off at the county elections office, or since that might be really far away, drop it off at a voting site on election day or in the early vote period.
Your right to vote has not and will not be compromised. So many of you and your families and your ancestors have fought so hard for us to have the right to vote, and that includes the very residents in Baldwin Park. We'll be putting a new drop box back in the city of Baldwin Park, and I believe that we may be placing it in a place that has better lighting.
Investigators are trying to determine how the fire started and who is responsible. Regardless, the LA County supervisor says that voters impacted by the fire will be sent new ballots to fill out.
Thanks, Zoe. I'm Isabella Bright on politics. Suspense is building with only 2 weeks until Election Day. Today, President Folt's We Are SC series featured political experts Bob Schrum and Mike Murphy. They provided insight on the polls and what Americans can expect on November 3rd.
But the poll has shown basically a 7 to 9 or 10 point national vote. Remember, there's the Electoral College lead for months. And Trump's situation before COVID was pretty bad. So there's not a lot of turbulence in the polling.
There are two big tells on election night that could end this very quickly. One is Florida, one is Ohio, because they both count their absentee ballots as they come in. So by 3 or 4 in the morning, unless it's very, very close, you know who won Florida, you know who won Ohio. And there's no way that Donald Trump can get reelected without winning both of those states.
The latest USC Dornsife Daybreak election poll shows Trump behind at 41.8% and Biden at 53.5%. That's more than an 11-point difference. The Daybreak poll can be tracked at election.usc.edu.
Given tens of millions of dollars. That is totally, President Trump, we've already been through.
Presidential candidates Donald Trump and Joe Biden will have their microphones muted during tomorrow night's final debate. The change comes in response to last month's unruly first debate. There were more than 200 interruptions, most made by President Trump during the 90-minute debate. Tomorrow, the candidates will have 2 minutes to answer a question, while the other candidate's mic will be muted. Now, back to you, Zoe.
Today, health officials released a long-awaited guide for the reopening of Disneyland and other theme parks amid the pandemic. Sadly for Disney fans, the announcement likely means that the park won't be opening anytime soon. We spoke to the manager of one restaurant near Disneyland whose business relies on tourists.
I think it's a hit for everyone, all restaurants are struggling, as we all know right now, and we're all just doing the best we can to figure out how to do it. Some of the things that we have done is we've gone outside, which I think everyone else has done as well. Once we've been able to go back inside at 25%, we've maintained that outdoor area in order to kind of make up for the lost space inside. Again, with Disneyland being closed, that's people coming from all over the world, all over the country to visit us, and we're not seeing that right now. So now more than ever, we are very reliant on our locals and repeat guests.
Under the new guidelines, theme parks like Disneyland will only be permitted to reopen when the county reaches the least restrictive tier of California's 4-tier reopening plan.
USC has joined several other universities in a lawsuit to block the Trump administration's new visa rules. In an email to the USC community, President Carol Folt said, "At USC, H-1B visa holders use their highly specialized expertise and knowledge to advance work that fuels innovation, serves the public good, and saves lives." The H-1B visa allows people to work temporarily in the United States in a specialty occupation and is usually valid for 3 years. The new rules issued by the Department of Homeland Security restricts the workers who qualify for the visa. The rules will also limit the visa to 1 year for workers hired through third-party consulting firms. More than 20% of USC's student body is international. The lawsuit alleges that these changes could make the H-1B visa obsolete, making it even harder for international students to stay in the country after graduation.
A new California study shows Latinx and Black students are experiencing homelessness at disproportionately high rates, with Latinx students representing 70% of those students. We spoke with a researcher at UCLA's Center for the Transformation of Schools about the state of the homelessness crisis in California for public school students.
Families are oftentimes one paycheck away, one bill away, or one big life event away from experiencing homelessness. Students experiencing homelessness were already twice as likely to be suspended, to be chronically absent. When we look deeper into these issues, we can really see patterns of inequities, and homelessness being just one of those intersections.
This problem isn't isolated to public school students. The report found that 1 in 5 at community college, 1 in 10 at California state universities, and 1 in 20 University of California students experienced homelessness during the year.
No college is exempt from having college students experiencing homelessness, no matter what size their endowment is. There's very little programs to actually help college students finish college. If professors are more compassionate and more understanding of the issue, then they can really help their students in the ways that the professors can.
California has the highest number of homeless students in the country. Given the disruption of COVID-19, the UCLA researchers believe that the number of students experiencing homelessness has likely increased.
Back-to-back Zoom calls can be exhausting, which is why Annenberg Media is excited to announce our new weekly segment, BRB, to give you some tools, tips, and tricks to de-stress between browsers. Today, I am joined by Maya Ramde, a USC junior and core power yoga instructor at the USC Village. Since the pandemic, Maya has been teaching downward dog in her online yoga class. Maya, hello. Thank you so much for being with us today. So how would you say your yoga practice has helped you get through online class and cope with Zoom fatigue?
Honestly, it has made such a world of difference since starting yoga. It has always been that thing in my day that really allows me space to just be tuned into the present moment and really just check in with myself. So throughout quarantine, it has just been so amazing to still be able to come down to my mat and have that space for myself as well.
Speaking of coming down to the mat, I could really use a break right now. Should we do it? Should we do some poses?
Totally agree. Whether it's a few poses or a 40-minute flow, we can totally jump into it. I have 3 stretches that you can add to your toolkit to really help you between your Zoom classes, any lower back slouching. These poses are really going to help alleviate any sort of tension. So let's just jump right into it, and we're going to start off in a neutral tabletop position. Stack your hips right above your knees. Parallel your back so it is hovering off the mat, and send your gaze in between your hands. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Awesome job, everyone. For our next pose, we're going to be doing ragdoll. So meet me on your mat. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, lower your chest onto your quads. Allowing your chest to lightly rest on your legs, or option to just hover it above the mat. Maybe you grab your opposite elbows and sway side to side here, allowing anything in your back to just dissipate away. Option to take a chest expansion by placing your fingers above your neck. For our last and final stretch, meet me on your mat. We take one deep inhale together. Exhale, push your hips towards the sky. Maybe you bind your hands beneath your hips to open up your chest as well, tucking your shoulders underneath your chest. Inhale one more time. Exhale, press your hips just 1 inch higher. Lower down to the ground when you're ready.
Naya, thank you so much. I know my lower back feels so much better even after taking 90 seconds like that to do that. So maybe try it out this week. It really made me feel a lot better, and we will be right back next week.
I'm Ava Brand reporting from Los Angeles with today's sports. We begin with breaking news. Clippers president of basketball operations, Lawrence Frank, just announced Tyronn Lue will become the team's new head coach. Lue previously worked as an assistant to Doc Rivers this past season. Frank said Lue will fit in well with the Clippers culture. Quote, Ty has been where we want to go. He is a championship head coach with an extraordinary feel for the game and the people who play it. He's one of the great minds in our league, and he's been able to impart his vision to others because he connects with everybody he meets. Lue was head coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers before working with the Clippers. He led them to 3 consecutive NBA Finals, including their first franchise title in 2016 after taking over mid-season. He led the team to a 128-83 record in 3 years. The Clippers will live stream an event tomorrow at 11 a.m. to introduce Lue as head coach. Hopefully, Lue can bring the same luck he had in Cleveland to the Clippers after their devastating early playoff exit this season.
I'm Jillian Carroll reporting from Long Island, New York. USC football kicks off its season at home on November 7th, and the offense has been training to be more explosive and put points on the board. Senior tailback Stephen Carr spoke today about his goals for the season.
Just trying to be the better version of myself every year, no matter what goes on in my life or goes on or off the field. I'm trying to show up a little bit more when it comes to pass protection. I'm trying to make that a huge emphasis. So just physicality this year, that's my only goal.
Carr returns this fall fully recovered from a hamstring injury that sidelined him for 3 games last season. Coach Mike Jinks is excited about the depth of talent among the running backs.
Only as good as the last guy in your room, especially with some of the obstacles that we may potentially have to overcome. I've got 7, 8 guys in my running back room right now. Number 8 has to be ready to play.
Get excited, Dodgers fans. Game 1 of the World Series is tonight at 5:10 p.m. on Fox. Jillian, what's your series prediction?
I am really hoping the Dodgers will win this series. Since my Atlanta Braves lost to the Dodgers, it will be great to see them lose to the World Series champion, and I really think the Dodgers can do it.
You know, I agree, but the past defeats from 2017 and 2018 are weighing me down a little bit, so I have a little bit of doubt in the Dodgers, but I'm hoping to have LA bring it home. That's all we have for sports. Back to you, Zoe and Ella.
Politicians are finding new ways to spread their message and encourage young people to vote.
Congresswoman Alexandria OcasioCortez announced on Twitter that she has joined the Twitch community, quote, to get out the vote. AOC's approach is similar to when Vice President Joe Biden took his campaign digital and created his own headquarters in the popular video game Animal Crossing. AOC and Biden's involvement with the gaming community has sparked a conversation on social media. While some people are excited about their involvement, others have concerns.
I've played video games my whole life, and I've never seen any politicians really, penetrate the gaming industry. I don't know if they're just doing it to try to get votes or if they're actually interested in the games and trying to understand the game. I feel like it's going to cause a bit of biases for especially younger voters, like people that just turned 18. They're going to be watching Twitch and they'll be like, oh, AOC, they might not even look up what she's all about, and they might just go off of the fact that she has a commonality with them that has nothing to do with her campaign at all.
You can tune in tonight to watch AOC with famous streamers on Twitch. Ella, I think this is really smart. It's the final stretch. These are people who are going to listen to her. These are young people who are on this platform. I say, why not?
Zoe, I'm so with you. You know, we're 2 weeks out from November 3rd, and I think it's honestly so inspiring to see people like AOC, people in the limelight, go to their platforms, take their work outside of the workplace to try to influence our voter turnout, especially with our demographic.
100%. I'm looking forward to tuning in.
Me too.
That wraps it up for us on this Tuesday night. Thank you so much for tuning in.
From all of us here at Annenberg TV News, have a great night.